What's up, guys? Right here. This is JoJo part 2. This is gonna be a long part. This I'm just gonna be showing y'all like R6, like a bit of animation, and then we're gonna start on like the punching, and then part 2 will be finishing up. Part 3 will be finishing up the punching, like the blocking, and also doing barrage. So like this is not like an hour-long video. So like I said in the other video, R6 works. I have my R6 animations right here, so I'm just gonna export them. If you don't know how to export like animations from Moon, once you like export it, you get like the keyframe sequences, and then what you want to do is you want to right click, save the Roblox, and then bam, upload it, copy your ID. And I have like a preloader so that my animations does not load. Not load or whatever, or like lag behind. And I just put them in there. So that's my idle for RS6. So let's say I wanted to make this R6, right? Well, I'm gonna remove the R15. I'm just like store this somewhere right there. I'm gonna bring this inside of that. And remember, like, it's not in. If it's not inside, it will look like this when you click the arrow. But if it is inside, when you click the arrow, it goes in. And the only thing you really need to change is the stand in the animation. So like, let me just drag the stand out of there as well. This is my new stand. I'm gonna call it just regular stand. Put it in there. And then when you test, as this loads up. But yeah, I like this new output. It's really good. You press Q. Oh, we got an error. Idle is not a valid member of script. Oh, because this is called Idles R6. So make sure it's just named the same way that the R15 stuff was named. And then when you test, it should work. Now we press Q. And what the heck? Okay, so it's anchored. That's my fault. Make sure your stand is like not anchored too. And make sure it doesn't have a humanoid inside of it as well. It has an animation controller. Why does that do that? Oh, I'm dumb. Also, make sure everything in the stand is Cankalite false, massless true. And then when we test, it should work correctly. It shouldn't be pushed into the ground, just like come out. There we go. And it doesn't give me that like weird speed thing. But yeah, R6 works for it. We're gonna start on like the punching, like I said, and then keep going. We're gonna continue this in part 3 as well. And part 4 will be like customizing your stand. Yeah, part 4. So now for the punching, I have R15 and R6 animations. If you want to see the preloader, this is what it looks like. It's a local script inside of Replicated first. The folder that's inside of it is named assets, and then you can just drop your animations, sounds, whatever. So CP is content provider, or at least that's what I named it. Then you reference your assets, which is the assets folder right here. And then I just have warn. Think of this as like a bolded print like this. That's what the warn looks like. And you do CP, preload, or sync, assets, get children, and that just goes through all the assets that's inside the asset folder and it loads them. So yeah, I have my R15 animations and R6 like I said, so I'm just gonna right click and export out of them. Alright, so I exported my animations. What do you want to do? I want to make a locus. Hold up. Sorry about the word cut. So you want to start off by making a local script and start a pack, and you can call this punching. And then make a server script and server script service. You can call it punching as well. And let's do one more thing, a remote event inside of replicated storage, and just call it punch. Okay, so now we gotta reference the player. So local player is equal to game get service players.local player. Then we want to get replicated storage, so I'm gonna name it RP. So local RP is equal to game get service replicated storage. Now we want to reference the punch remote event. So local punch is equal to RP wait for child punch, right? Next we want to reference user input service. I like to name it UIS, but you can name anything else. Game get service user input service. This will allow us to get our input, or like the keys that we press. I don't want to do this. Local debounce, so we can stop ourselves from spamming. Local cooldown is equal to 1 second. Yeah, I don't really need to do that actually. Actually, yeah, we can do that. Alright, so now we want to start off with UIS.input begin :connect function input is typing. If is typing, then return, else if input dot key code. Well, we're not going to use key code, we're going to use left click. So user input type. So if you were doing keys like the keyboard, you would do key code, and if you're doing mouse, user input type. So you get an enum dot user input type dot mouse button 1 then. Alright, so now I'm going to do if debounce is equal to false, then we're going to make another I don't want to do this. I'm going to make another bool value just in case. And is active is equal to false. Then is active is equal to true. We want to do punch fire server. And we're gonna have to check for something. Okay, so at the bottom right here, I do punch dot on client event :connect function. Okay, so now that we have like the open parentheses, we're gonna put a bool value. We're gonna name this can punch. So this is going to be a value that we're going to send from this script to this script. So this is going to detect, this is going to tell like this script that if the stand is not found, then it's just gonna set everything back to false. So if can punch then else, so I'm gonna just put some strings here. Player has stand equipped. Player doesn't have stand equipped. So if they don't have stand equipped, debounce is equal to false, is active is equal to false. And let's just wait the cooldown too as well. I'm just gonna make that one. How do I want to do this? Actually, I don't think I want to go through this. Actually, yeah, we will have to go through it. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna remove the is active part. So each time they punch, debounce will be set to true. I don't want to wait cooldown. I want to wait the animation. So let's come back to this. So just copy these two longs, the RP and the local punch, paste them in the server script. We're going to do punch dot on server event calling connect function player. Okay, so now we have to get the stand, right? But in order to get the stand, we need our player, because that's where we stored our stand at from the summon script. Because when we made the stand and we cloned it, we made the parent our character, right? So what we want to do is we want to reference the character, and I'm just going to reference the player's humanoid as well, just in case you want to like make animations for him. And then I'm gonna do that for humanoid root part, because we'll need a humanoid root part as well. Okay, so now we want to do local stand is equal to character find first child stand, right? Because that is the exact name as the stand that's inside the summon script. So if stand, then so if we find our stand, so stand, if stand is found, else if stand is not found. So if stand is not found, right, I'm gonna do punch fire client player and then false, right? So false, well, player, it has to always be sent back when you do fire client, and false is gonna be that value that kin punch is. Okay, so this is just gonna set debounce to false. How else do I want to do this? Yeah, this will work. Debounce is equal to false. So we're gonna make 2 cooldowns, right? So I'm gonna teach you a little bit about tables. To make a table, right, you need to make like these squiggly brackets, and then gonna enter and indent these. I'm just naming this cooldowns, right? So then inside of this, think of this as a list, right? This is going to be the 2 different cooldowns. Cooldown 1 is going to be like the main cooldown of like the combat, and cooldown 2 will be the cooldown for when you don't have the stand, and it just resets everything, right? So now we're going to have an error right here. What you want to do is CDS, which is cooldowns. That's what I named it. And then you want to do dot CD2 for the false, like the else statement. You want to do CD2 here. And then for this one, we want to do wait CDS.CD1 here. So this will wait 0.25 seconds, and this one will wait 1 second. So now, when we get here, we want to make a folder in punching. I'm gonna call it animations, right? And then what we want to do is just make 3 animation objects, and I'm going to make sure that this is R15 and R6 compatible. So we're going to make 2 folders inside. We're going to name one R15 and R6, right? So you just want 3 animation things in both folders. And you can call them Combat 1, Combat 2, Combat 3, put in Combat 1, Combat 2, and Combat 3, right? So now you want to just fill in the IDs. So how you do that is you go to Roblox, go to My Creations, Animation, this takes forever, and then you just want to go to like the animations. You could copy the whole link, that's up to you, and just paste the link inside of the animation IDs for the animations. And I made my animations in Moon, so yeah, that's how I got my animations, as I made them. I do R6. So these are R6 animations. Sorry for the weird cut. So we're just doing the animations. Alright. So now that you have like all the IDs for the animations, what you want to do is reference the animation folder. Is equal to script, wait for child, animations. Then we want to make 2 tables, right? We make R15 is that, we'll go R6 is that. Now if the stands had a humanoid, this would be a lot easier to define, but since my stands do not like have a humanoid, they have an animation controller, we're going to do a different way. Yeah. Now inside of the tables, right, we want to do 2 things, right? We want to do brackets with the quotation marks, double quotation marks. Name it L. So the first one will be L, animations dot R15 dot combat 1, right? That is the first. This is referencing combat 1 right here in R15, right? So you want to copy this line, paste it, and put 2 L's in the next one, and then this is combat 2, and then paste that again, 3 L's, combat 3, right? We'll just tab that over. Now just copy and paste this in this one, then remove 15 and put 6, because that's R6 animation. So now we have R15 and R6, right? So now we want to go to the local script. I'm going to make a string value. I want to make a combat sequence. So this will keep track of the combat, right? you want to set it to empty string, which is that. Sorry for the cut. So now we're going to make two variables. We're going to call these two current time is equal to 0 and previous time is equal to 0, right? So these will keep track of our time, and I'll explain as I'm going. So we're going to do current time is equal to os.clock, right? Now we want to do local past time, because we want to keep track of how much time has passed since the player has last left clicked, because we're using the left click button. And then we're going to do current time minus previous time if past time is greater than or equal to 1, then actually let's do less than 1 right here. So if it's less than 1 second, then we're gonna do, and I'm gonna shorten combat sequence. I'm gonna just do com sequence, so it's just shorter. So we want to do com sequence is equal to com sequence dot dot. So the two dots mean concatenate or concatenation, or this whole sequence is like concatenation. We're just adding a letter to the string. So we're just gonna add L, right? And in the else statement we just want to set com sequence to L, right? Sorry for the weird cut. So we left off com sequence is set to L if past time is 1. So like the first time using this, it will come to this, right? Because previous time has no value but 0, right? So it will come to this first, and it sets this to L. And then at the bottom right here, we want to do previous time is equal to current time, right? And then we're gonna wait 0.1 second. I mean 0.25 seconds, which is this right here. And then inside of the if statement, we want to do if string dot length or len. This is how long the string is. Com sequence is greater than 4, right? No, it's greater than 3, because our highest length is 3, which is 3 L's. So if it's greater than 3, then it's going to set com sequence back to 1 L, right? So this is just going to help us like reset the sort of combo, if that makes sense. And then you want to send com sequence inside of Fire server, and then we want to go to the server script, and then inside the parentheses next to player, do comma and the com sequence. Alright, so now that we have this, we want to search for two things. No, one thing actually. How do I want to do this? We could make a value inside of the animation controller, which is what I might do to make this easier. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to take our two stands, right? We have the R15 and the R6, right? So inside our R15 stand, find the animation controller, right? And insert a string value, right? And we're gonna call this humanoid type, or yeah, humanoid type is fine, right? And we want to do the same for the R6 stand. Now in the R15 stand, right, the value of humanoid type should be R15, just like that. capital R, and then 1.5. And then for R6, capital R6, right? So this is just going to help us keep track of the type of stand that we're working with. So since we're doing R6, sorry for the haircut. Okay, so I placed my R15 stand in server storage since we're going to do R6 in this tutorial. Well, we're going to do both, but you know what I mean. I'm just showcasing that it works for R6 as well. And I'm going to switch out if need be. So we have the summon. We have R6 stand in humanoid type inside of animation controller, right? So now what we want to do is local anim control is equal to stand find first child anim control, because that's the name of the animation controller. If anim control, then so if it finds the animation controller, then we want to do local humanoid type, right? We could have animation, not animations, animation, anim control find first child. And what I realized what some people did in like the first part when they messed up their like script is they would put first find child rather than find first child. Okay, so that there's like a big difference. You just flipped first, or you flipped first and find around, but make sure it's find first child. And then in the quotation marks, we're going to do humanoid type. If humanoid type dot value is equal to R15, then else if humanoid type dot value is equal to R6, then so now we have the two different humanoids. Now what we want to do is how would I do this? I want to make this like sort of universal. So I want to do this, right? Local yeah, we're gonna do local action. Yeah, action will be our animation name, right? So animation to be played, and we're gonna keep this empty, right? Next, what we want to do is action. We want to set action to anim control load animation. And since this is R15, what we want to do is R15 and then square brackets com sequence, right? Want to do that, okay? And we want to do the same right here, but instead of R15 we want to do R6. So your script should look like this, right? This is how it should look like. And I'll just put some space in there so it's more readable. So we have the empty value, like the empty variable. Then we set action to whatever the stand's humanoid value is. And then at the end, we'll do action colon play. And this will play the animation, right? Next, what we want to do is action dot stopped. So the way this cooldown is going to work is it's going to wait till the animation has stopped before like it continues, before you can like punch again or whatever, or attack again. Then what you want to do is punch, fire, client, player, and true instead of false. Remember, false is if the stand is not found. True is for if the stand is found. So now that we have this, right, I believe this should work. I think. I'm like 90% sure. So we test, press Q, and then press left click. And that's my animations. Okay, so that works. Let me just make sure that this works for my R15 stand as well. So I'm just gonna switch these two out. I'm gonna name this R6 since that's the R6 stand. It's the R15 stand. And then this is R6 idle animation. And I'm naming these so that you don't get confused too much. I'm just putting this in server storage since I'm not using it, right? And if we click play to test for the R15 stand, and then there we go. See? So we got the R15 stand. Yeah. Okay. So now we want to do the tweening, right? So at the top, we're gonna reference tween service, local tween service. So go to game, get service, tween service, right? And now what we want to do is, I don't want to do this. I want to do it in anim control, like right above the action. We're gonna do local goal is equal to the squiggly brackets like we use for a table. Then we're going to do goal dot C0 is equal to, and actually I'm going to copy that real quick. We need to find the weld that we named controller in summon, right? We need to find this weld that we have in there. So what we want to do is local controller is equal to stand dot primary part dot not dot find first child, and the name of the weld is called controller. So if controller, not continue, controller, then, and we just want to move everything inside of the if statement for controller, just like that. So since it found the controller, local goal is equal to the squiggly brackets, goal dot C0 is equal to humanoid root part dot C frame. Now I want to see something real quick. I'll use weld dot, okay. So instead of humanoid, right, I'm going to do controller dot part 0 dot C frame colon 2 object space parentheses humanoid root part, well no, not that, controller dot part 1 dot C frame, right? And then goal dot C1 is equal to controller, and actually we could just copy this line, and then our offset, remember we have to multiply the C frame by C frame dot new, and then 0 0 negative, I wanted 3 blocks in front of my player, right? So -3 in the axes, maybe a little up, like 0.25, a little up off the ground. and then local info is equal to tween info dot new. And how we had this is 0.5 seconds. We can do 2.25 seconds, and you could slow it down as much as you want. I'm gonna just do 2.5 seconds, and if it's too fast, then I could change it. So we want to do local tween is equal to tween service colon create controller info goal tween colon play. And so I've been recommended to delete the tweens. I don't think we would have to do it, but we'll see if more lag continues. If like your game is laggy from this, just let me know, and then we can do like the deleting tweens and stuff. So left off with the R15 active, and we disabled the R6. This feels like a long video. So we do that. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. So it's a nice distance away as well. That's nice. So now we need this to go back to like its original position. So we want a local goal is that, and how we have action dot stop, which is the animation when it's done. What I want to do is do this, right? And then we want the same offset that we have in the summon for that offset. So -3, 1, 2. This will go back to its original position. And yeah. And just to test like the if the player doesn't have to stand out, I'm gonna just like punch and show. So if I left click, you can probably hear my mouse left clicking. Yeah, no errors, nothing. Works just fine. Now I want to wait a little bit. So at this goal, right, we're gonna copy this. I'm gonna do spawn function, and this will make a new thread so that the weight that we put inside of this will not interfere with the rest of the script and like slow it down, right? So if we go to the local script, I'm gonna change CD1 to 0.1 second just to make it faster. So as we load this up, that's gonna waste some time. This looks strange. Yeah, this actually is a bit strange. Not something. We don't want to do spawn function here. We're gonna do I'm gonna wait 0.1 second. I'm gonna just make this 0.1 second when it's going to its original space, and that as well. So when we do this, should punch, wait a second, go back like 0.1 second and go back, and then when we punch again, there we go. That's what we want. And it's super fast because I have a 0.1, but you can slow it down if you want. And the stand does not lag behind either. Okay. And just to always check for this again, I'm not gonna do this in like the next videos, but I'm just name this R15 so you don't get confused. R15. Gonna bring that in. Oh, gonna bring these into server storage. I'm gonna bring the R6 out and put that in the summon script. And I'm gonna remove the extra R6 at the end. So now when we play, this is like a lot of information that I'm giving y'all. So yeah, this is gonna be sort of like a two-part like episode. And then when we do that, see, works just fine. Tweens. And obviously you could slow down the tween a little bit. I just like mine a bit fast. It looks a bit choppy, but that's fine with me. And I do not want this to be like super long. So if you guys enjoyed this part, I'm probably going to release the second part of this like tomorrow, so that you guys don't wait like too long. And I'm going to do like more beginner tutorials as well, so I can actually teach y'all more and stuff. So if you like this video, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.